the only game in the FPHL today as the Prowlers and Hat-Tricks battle in a rescheduled affair. Good afternoon, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you in Section 102 in Danbury Ice Arena. Thanks so much for joining us today. Section 102, known as one of the rowdiest in the FPHL, second only to Section 9 at McMorran Place. Now, this game, a rescheduled one, supposed to be played Friday night here in Danbury, but due to the snow, scheduled now for Sunday afternoon. We'll see how that affects the fan turnout. Prowlers were able to keep the fans out of the game last night, as every time the Hat-Tricks got momentum with a goal, Port Huron would tie it up within a minute or so. So we'll see if the Prowlers can keep the fans out of it today and get the weekend sweep and their fourth straight win. We'll have much more coming up for you on the pregame show next. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to Danbury Ice Arena. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks getting set to go on this Sunday Funday matchup. Whether you're a fan of the Prowlers, the Hat-Tricks, or just a fan of the FPHL, this is the only game in the league today. So thanks so much for joining us. Let's take a look first at last night's game as we look back at all the highlights from the game last night. And it was the Hat-Tricks who got the scoring started early in the opening 5 minutes. Greg Sosinski scoring there, but the Prowlers responded 61 seconds later thanks to Bobby Price. And this would become a theme in the game. Prowlers with quick responses to Hat-Tricks goals. Second period, Hat-Tricks able to take the lead again. Caden Kondurka as the puck popped out to him, but 34 seconds later, Prowlers crashing the net, and this one eventually did make its way over the goal line. I wasn't sure. The referee, though, right behind the net, was able to see it clearly. As we see it on 2 angles, hopefully that second one helped you out a little bit. Didn't help me too much, but Prowlers would get another one later in the period as Lucas Lockney poked it right across the goal line, and Matt Graham was there to stuff it on the back post, and that gave Port Huron its first lead of the night, and one it would not relinquish the rest of the way as Brett Lockhart hit the empty netter from his own zone. The long-range shot from Lockhart sealed the deal as the Prowlers won it by a score of 4-2. Matt Graham, Luke James get a goal apiece as James got credit for that second Prowler goal. Reed Cooper made 23 stops in net to help Port Huron move to 3-0 at Danbury Ice Arena this season. Meanwhile, the Hat-Tricks held 2 leads in this game for a combined minute and 35 seconds. So again, those quick responses from the Prowlers helped keep this rowdy Danbury crowd out of it through much of the game. And Sebastian Resar did all he could, but unfortunately for him, his team unable to give him too much help. And 4-2 your finals. Take a look at the standings here in the Empire Division. And the Prowlers getting some breathing room now from Topeka as the Scarecrows got swept this weekend by the Monroe Moccasins. So Prowlers back up by 7 points now on the Crows. Meanwhile, the Bobcats jumped into 4th place in the Empire Division. They started this weekend in 6th, but a shootout loss on Friday and then a win last night in Indiana helped the Bobcats get past Watertown and Danbury, who have both lost all of their games so far this weekend. Hat-tricks, of course, playing right here. And Bobcats back in playoff positioning in 4th place in the division. Let's take a look at some players to watch tonight, and we start on the Danbury side with a guy who was not here the first time these two teams played, and that is Noah Robinson. He was still in ECHL camp with the Jacksonville Icemen, and Robinson this season, 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points. But the Prowlers able to keep him off the score sheet last night as he was kept quiet. So was Johnny Ruiz. So good job by the Prowlers on the Hat-Trick's top guns. On the other side for Port Huron, the game-winning goal was scored by Matt Graham. And Graham this season has continued to be an offensive leader for this Prowlers club. Leads the team with 11 goals, 25 points, and 4 game winners, and tied for the team lead with those 4 power play goals this season. And his line, along with Lucas Lockney and Artu Hakala, has been doing a lot of damage over these past couple of weeks. And Graham, again, game winner last night. Now we take a look at where Graham slots into the projected lineup. And in that exact same spot, Prowlers not changing anything about the skaters. Again, every skater that they have brought on this trip is out on the ice, with plenty of guys banged up, still back in Port Huron. Shout out to those guys tuning in on the broadcast. But again, same lines that we saw last night, and Prowlers getting goals from all 3 lines in last night's game. Matt Graham, Luke James, and Bobby Price with the tallies, and they were able to just continue to cycle through guys, cycle through their lines throughout the game, and they found success. Same 6 defensemen as well, same defense pairings, but in between the pipes is where we see the change. Bailey Huber and Jamison Bork, the dressed goaltenders this afternoon, as Reed Cooper gets himself the day off after his 23 save performance yesterday. And it was funny, we were watching Reed Cooper as the rest of his teammates were warming up. He wasn't sure what to do with himself, but he's all set to go, tuning in to this game from the stands. Again, a well-deserved day off for number 33. And you see Prowler Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin trying to help his team continue its streak here. Prowlers have won 3 in a row. Hat-tricks have dropped their last 4. And they are trying to break out of a funk, as it feels like we've had those kinds of funks with those teams down in that 4, 5, 6 area in the division. Watertown a rough start, but then they bounce back, and now they've fallen off again. Danbury has spent time in that 4th spot, and then they've fallen off. Blue Ridge was in a long dry spell for these past couple of weeks, but now they found a win last night, got points in both games this weekend. It's an interesting race for 4th in the Empire Division. I see the Prowlers lining up on the blue line. Bit of a sneak peek of who the Prowlers starters are. We'll get to that after the anthem, but we do want to let you know that the Prowlers and Meyer are combining for the Goals for Good program. For every goal the Prowlers score this season, Meyer will donate money to help deliver meals to families in need in our community. So far this season, the Prowlers and Meyer have helped deliver over 4,500 meals. As we get set for this afternoon's national anthem here in Danbury. That is the national anthem from Danbury Ice Arena this afternoon. Prowlers and Hat Tricks getting set to finish up their 2-game weekend series. Let's take a look at the Orthopedic Associates starting lineup for the Port Huron Prowlers. And it will be the third line, Connor Brazil, Jamie Bucell, and Brett Mork, the extra forward, getting in once again to start things off. Brian Parsons, Brett Lockhart on the back end, and Bailey Huber back between the pipes for the first time in a couple of weeks after Reed Cooper started the last 3. Let's take a look at his numbers on the Harrison Meadow Fab starting goaltending matchup, as the Hat Tricks going right back with Sebastian Resar after he started last night and faced 42 shots. So he will be right back in there. So 2 different strategies here between the 2 teams. New goalie for the Prowlers, same one for the Port Huron Prowlers. As Bazal and Tomasi getting into a shoving match right in the face-offs, right at their wings. And we are underway here from Danbury as the Prowlers start up and get the first attack. It's Bucell, the quick shot stopped by Resar. He just got a piece. And now comes Josh Newberg. There's a bird here that just flew right across in front of the broadcast booth. Brett Morick trying to slip past Sisinski. We have a bird hanging out in the rafters here at Danbury Ice Arena. If he's looking for warmth, this is not the place to find it. Fronduto outside try, misses wide. Karam's all the way out to the neutral zone. Jackson Legro grabs it there, scratched last night. A rookie out of the University of Southern Maine, as the Hat Tricks offsides here. Acquired back in October from the PD Ice Cats in exchange for Charlie Bedard. 6'3", 192 Jackson Legro, wearing number 3 in orange. They saw just outside the Port Huron end. Prowlers are trying to sneak in a late change, and they're going to let them. Or maybe not. Well, a bit of a mixed line out there right now for Port Huron, as Matt Graham stuck out there with Blake Anderson and Vinny DeCumbis. Bobby Price, the usual line mate of the latter 2. Austin Federley to the left wing side to DeCumbis. Stretched it on ahead to Anderson. Centering feed looking for Graham off a leg. And now Noah Robinson dumps it in. Alexander Legkov and Nick Favaro come together. Belfay tried a quick centering feed that didn't work. Loose stick there as Legkov gets up to the point. Shot blocked on the way through by DeCumbis. Puck loose in the slot. Legkov to the backhand. Had a dangle around his own man. Huber made the save. Pops out for Pickford, and they blow it dead as the net came off. Huber ended up making the stop on Pickford anyway, or didn't get all the way through, but Alexander Legkov maybe with one too many moves as he tried to get to the net. He had to dance past his own guy. He got around Federley, but had his own man Belfay right there. Tried to tuck it back, and Huber reached out that left leg to seal off the post. Legkov now up to 40 points this season after an assist last night, point in 8 of his last 9 games. Puck skitters all the way down towards Resar, who gets his first touch with the goal stick, wraps it all the way around. Dump right back down towards the Prowler end. This will be icing against the Hat Tricks. And Port Huron will be able to reset their lines here as Bucell, Morick, and Bazal come off the bench. Face off to Resar's left. Caden Fennell was the one taking the face-off. Wrist shot off the back glass. Fennell seems to be playing forward here in this game. A natural defenseman was on the blue line last night. Kendurka across towards Tukane. Soft toss batted in by Fennell. Lockhart stretched it on to Morick. Cross corner dump. And Pickford gathers it in. Ahead it goes. Rubtsov walks the blue line, saucers it down low, and Huber steers it away from Johnny Ruiz. Sasinski had his pass explode off of Legkov's stick. Lockney into the offensive zone. He'll dump it deep. Hakela and Pickford after it. Comes right back to Lockney. Swept it up high to Organ. Looking for a shot at lane. That was blocked by Legkov. Federley tried to make a pass over to Organ that Legkov got his stick in the way of. Loose puck, Organ ahead to Lockney off his stick. Patrick's dump it back in once more. Organ, outlet, finally gets it to Hakela. He tips it in deep. Port Huron getting a change. Resar spins it around, and DeCumbus cut the puck off, but couldn't get it on net. Anderson, centering feed for Price, punched out by Resar. So he had to fight that one off. Favaro sent it in deep. Resar takes a look over his shoulder, up the boards, right into Price. Anderson out to the line. Favaro, wrister punched out. Rebound available. Pinballs around and Tukane grabs control. He gets the red line, goes off the glass in deep. 4 minutes gone in period one. Mavali, Legkov, and now back to Sasinski. Legkov working up with speed. Bizal trying to steer him into the boards. Legkov muscling off Johnson behind the net. Came all the way to the point. Sasinski's wrister stopped by Huber. Legkov tried to bat it back on net. Off the side of the cage was the attempt from Noah Robinson. James just tosses it out of the zone. 2-on-2 rush. Bizal off the drop pass. Had his shot go off of a stick and up out of play. 15:22 left to go in period one. Both teams active offensively. Still looking for our first goal though. Caden Fennell has his line out there. Hat-tricks electing to go with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen, despite, again, a guy that's a natural defenseman in Fennell being listed as a forward tonight. Here's Federley, drags it, sends it over to Organ, back to Federley, touch, Lockney sent it through and wide. Fennell bounces it for Sasinski. Starts ahead. His pass missed its intended target. Prowlers can't go the other way. A couple of hat tricks took each other into the boards. Kendurka had a goal last night, working on Federley. Battled for behind the cage. Graham able to pull it out of the scrum. Just tosses it out of the zone. Legro sells it down. Indirect feed for Fennell. Battles going on in front of the benches between Fennell and Graham. Meanwhile, Bucell flags down the puck in the offensive zone. His centering feed was blocked away. Ruiz on goal, sticked out of play by Bailey Huber, and will take a timeout. Early going, shots but no goals yet here in Danbury. We'll be right back on the PHP Network.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, home. There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
Back here in Danbury, no score yet, and a light crowd here at Danbury Ice Arena as expected. A little bit with this game being changed on short notice, as well as people probably having plans the weekend after Christmas. Well, we still have some diehards out here. A couple of Prowler fans in the crowd as well. And as Port Huron moves ahead, it's Lockney wheeling in with speed on the backhand save. Resar Lockney tried to put it back out in front, came to Ruptsov. Rink wide feed, leg call, drops for Ruiz, picked his spot, but missed the net. Tukane, watched by Lockney. Forced around his net, just sent it ahead, right on Favaro's tape. Back the other way. Favaro towards the cage, sticked away by Resar. Price had to come right back to him. Backhands it up top to Johnson, but he couldn't handle the pass. Port Huron regroups. Anderson tipped it in deep before absorbing contact from Mavalli. Tomasi had that one hit him up high. It landed right next to him. He gets back to his skates and tosses it out of the zone. That puck took a funny hop off that door and ended up right in Tomasi's face as Tecumseh's long-range chance gloved and held by Resar. And a scrum here as Price separated from Tukane. Port Huron with the offensive zone face-off. Shot 6-4 Danbury right now in the early going. Draw will be to Resar's left as Bucell takes it against Robinson. Sosinski throws on the brakes behind the net, comes out the other way. Legkov working on Parsons, drops the shoulder, backhands it out in front to nobody, and James starts the counter. Bucell the cross corner dump. Sosinski played it right into James, looking towards the net, got it to Bucell. Down low, Bazal. Resar swimming in his goal crease as the puck caroms to Belfay. Legkov on the left wing side sends the puck off a stick out of play, and Resar seems to be laboring a little bit down the goal crease to our left. He's taken off his helmet now. But while that puck was deep in Hat-Trick's territory, he was kind of swimming around the goal crease. Taking a second to get a drink and reset himself. Seems to be all right for now. Watch Resar in the goal crease. Well, maybe took him some contact there from Connor Bazal and had to reset himself. Here's Tukane getting the puck deep. Federley couldn't poke it out. Now Graham takes a look. Around towards Hakala. Took a hit from Crom. Graham and Fennell canceled out. Poked ahead to Hakala. Has Lockney with him. Delayed penalty coming up against Danbury as Hakala just shovels it on net. And we'll get the first power play of the game. And now it's Matt Graham who's doubled over, heading back to the Prowler bench. And it's Caden Fennell who gets the call. High sticking is the signal. It happened way behind the play here. I think he caught Matt Graham up high. And it's a 4-minute double minor for Caden Fennell. for the high stick, so the Prowlers with a big opportunity. And you saw it right there on our Elite Electric replay. Good catch from our crew. The 4-minute double minor. And a huge chance for the Prowlers to get themselves on the board first. Power play was 0 for 5 last night and dropped back to dead last in the FPHL and an even 12%. And they win the faceoff. Lockhart, Bavaro steps in. Shot partially blocked and kicked out by the left flipper of Risar. Bavaro around behind the net. Looking towards Price. He skates back into it. Heikola down to Price. Anderson behind the net. Indirect feed finds Favaro up high. Whipped it across to Lockhart. Tried to go down low. That was cut off by Pickford. Trying to send Belfay ahead shorthanded. And Austin Belfay will send it in deep. And the Hat-Tricks get a full change. Prowlers switching up the unit as well. Favaro, indirect feed. Anderson into the offensive zone. Thought about dropping it off. Now he drives. Pass ends up on Johnson's tape. Johnson looking towards Bucell, bounced back, and then Ruiz got his stick up on Jamie Bucell. Penalty coming up against the Hat-Tricks captain, and a 5-on-3 here for Port Huron. Bucell seems to be all right. Ruiz not happy. Actually, it's Crom that they're taking to the box. Josh Newberg having a conversation with the referee. Referees this afternoon, William Lyons and Justin Crawford. The linesmen, Will Fannin and Eric Ellingson. This one a 2-minute penalty on Crom, as you see it there. And right up on Bucell. A full 2-minute 5-on-3 for the Prowlers. And they win the face-off to set up. Price, Johnson walks in, Lockney, down to Federley. Up high, Johnson takes a look, Price one-timer, save Risar, comes right back to Bobby Price. Johnson straight away, steps in, now to Lockney, he'll shoot, off the bar! Karam's out of the zone. Lucas Lockney that close to making it 1-0. There was some daylight there over Risar's right shoulder. Lockney steps in. He'll take it again. And Risar makes the save and leaves no rebound. Minute 18 left in the 5-on-3. Lucas Lockney already with a couple of good chances. Here's the one off the crossbar. Trying to go high blocker. Port Huron switching up the unit. Anderson able to bounce it up high towards Favaro in a battle with Newberg. And Josh Newberg able to get it out of the zone. He went tumbling. Hat-Tricks want a penalty they won't get. Lockhart throws on the brakes up to Favaro. Lockhart steps in, shoots, blocked, and up out of play. Oh, the first penalty to Fennell is over. Prowler still with 54 seconds left of 5-on-3 time. We'll have it for you when we return here on the PHP Network.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Go
Prowlers!
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers and hat tricks still scoreless. Port Huron with 54 seconds left of a 5-on-3. Want to again welcome in everyone who's tuning in, whether you have a dog in this fight or not. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us here on the PHP Network. Prowlers beat the hat tricks 4-2 last night. As Brett Lockhart gives it down to Hakela. Favaro, one-timer kicked out by Risar. Anderson gets to the middle. His shot missed wide. Favaro taken in by Sasinski. 3 Prowlers, 2 hat tricks digging away. Comes to the line. Lockhart walks. Lockhart steps in. Favaro down to Hakela. They get it to Lockhart. Over to Anderson. The one-timer wouldn't go. Favaro again. 14 to go in the 5-on-3. Lockhart, a rip, kick, save, rebound, available. Another stop made by Risar. Favaro missed wide. Catches it back off the back glass. Hakela sweeps it up high. Lockhart has to deal with Crom coming out of the penalty box. 53 seconds of a 5-on-4 left for Port Huron. It's Anderson. Stick handling, got it up high to Lockhart. Across Favaro, steps in, he shoots, save by Risar. Crom trying to clear, and he will with his skates. Here comes Crom, short-handed, outside try off the chest of Bailey Huber. Prowlers with 30 seconds left on this 5-on-4 power play. Danbury almost out of the woods. Their penalty kill has come up big, mostly in the form of Sebastian Risar. Pop to the middle of the ice. Tukane couldn't clear. Johnson grabs the puck. He passes it down low looking for Price. Couldn't find his stick. Belfay for Robinson. Back to Belfay shorthanded. His shot off a stick of Federley and up out of play. And the hat tricks have escaped the lengthy penalty kill.
Special welcome. The Horvath group is here today. The Horvath crew in the suites today.
Prowlers with 8 shots on net during the Fennell double minor. That again included a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3 time. Also the crossbar shot from Lucas Lockney. Sebastian Risar stopped them all. Hat-tricks trying to take advantage of some momentum, but James pokes the puck out of the zone. Risar moves it ahead to Rubtsov. Oregon flags the puck down his own end. Goes off the boards. Pickford in front looking for Legkov. And I think Huber had to make a save. James hustles ahead. Working on Tukane. James knocked off the puck. Ruiz all the way up to Legkov. Gets to the net. Spun back. And tried to find Rubtsov. Pass was behind him. Price on the counter. 1-on-2. Price throws on the brakes. And he'll spin it down deep. DeCumbis tried to go back behind the net. Bounce right back to his stick. And Legro after in the corner. Flipped it only as far as Blake Anderson. Here's DeCumbis walking in to Price. Tried to go back to DeCumbis. One too many passes. And the Prowlers don't get a shot, but here's Anderson with another steal. Favaro drags it. And the save made by Risar. Newberg got it ahead. Rubtsov will ice the puck just to get the pressure off. Oh boy, the Prowlers had all kinds of chances down low, and again it's that line of Price, DeCumbis, and Anderson doing the damage. Let's take another look at this chance. Price tried to go back to Vinny DeCumbis, ended up with the pass in his skates. Port Huron still on the attack. Here's a shot from Oregon that's blocked by Newberg. And Newberg laboring a bit after that. Legro up the wall. Gets to Rubtsov, has leg call breaking. Rubtsov tosses it all the way down. No icing, and the Hat Tricks get a much-needed change. Oregon gets the red line, dumps it in. Period of missed opportunities so far for Port Huron. Lockhart gets back to the puck. Tried to go back to Lockney, out of his reach. Kandurka couldn't make a play on the turnover. Good job by Parsons. Here's a shot by Crum in tight, and Huber forced to make a save. Kept in at the line by Sosinski. Took a funny hop off the Zamboni door, or whatever that door is for down there. Graham tossed it around, and now a penalty coming up against Brian Parsons. He has a hold of Fennell right in the blue paint, and now everybody comes in to join. Original penalty looked like it was coming up to Parsons. We'll see if anybody else joins him in the sin bin. Graham and Kandurka still giving each other shots away from the play. Now Fennell's going to the box as well. Let's watch Parsons and Fennell right in front. Fennell went down, the arm went up. But now both of those two in the sin bins. As you see the melee that ensued afterward. And Caden Fennell may have evened this one up by taking a penalty. We'll find out. And Brian Parsons mocking Caden Fennell in the box, saying that maybe a bit of a dive there from number 2 in orange. Let's watch it again. Watch right in front of the net. Fennell went down, looked straight at the referee. And then everybody piled on, with Parsons still having a hold of Fennell. There's 2 minutes up on the Hat Trick side and 2 minutes up on the Prowler side as well. We'll get some 4-on-4 action here in Danbury. So Caden Fennell costs his team a power play opportunity with just over 5 minutes to go in period 1. Interference on Parsons, embellishment on Fennell. So it looks like the Hat Tricks were never going to get a power play before that scrum, as the embellishment was indeed called. Here's Sosinski wheeling ahead. Pass was in the air. Robinson gets to it. Favaro trying to poke it away from Noah Robinson, who's without his stick. And a penalty coming up against Luke James, who can't believe it. I think they're saying that James held on to Robinson's stick, although Robinson having trouble dislodging his stick from James after the whistle blew. We'll take a timeout and come back with a 4-on-3 power play for the Danbury Hat Tricks. And we'll be back here on the PHP Network.
Christmas is about gratitude, and we're really thankful for everyone who supported our new coffee launch.
I'm just thankful for this coffee and fire to keep me alive during the holiday rush.
Well, I'm really thankful for this new eggnog latte to keep me warm during
Eggnog. Eggnog. Funny word.
Try any of our new holiday specials at the Milk House. We look forward to warming your soul this holiday season.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Back here in Danbury, have some Prowler fans here this afternoon. That one standing, that's my dad, and those other fans there in the front row in front of them, they came to the opening weekend game between the Prowlers and the Hat Tricks, and they just fell in love with the Prowlers after that. Got a chance to talk to them pregame. There's another look at the penalty as James gets called for holding the stick. And the Hat Tricks go their first man advantage of this one as Pickford got it to Ruiz, gave it back. Rubtsov, Pickford, Ruiz, one-timer, saved Huber, and it stuck to him. Danbury's power play went 0 for 2 last night, staying in 12th in the FPHL.
Special intro today, he's a YouTube superstar.
Again, always good to see the Prowlers fans represented everywhere Port Huron goes. As Pickford got it off to Ruiz. Rubtsov back to Ruiz, won't shoot. Again, there's a 4-on-3 power play for Danbury. As Rubtsov got it to Ruiz, Pickford. Ruiz again, Crom set up right in front of Huber. They get it down to Crom, trying to go backdoor to Rubtsov. And a good job by Favaro, down on a knee, able to block it. Ruiz working on Johnson, takes the wrister, it's blocked. 3 hat tricks behind the net, trying to dig that puck loose. Ruiz gets out in front, backdoor Rubtsov. Pass was in his skate though, and he couldn't get a shot off. Pickford, Ruiz, let it go, missed wide. And Pickford will keep it in at the blue line. Rubtsov, Ruiz steps in, missed wide again. And this time it will carry him just to the line, not out. Good job by Pickford, but Johnson right there to chip it out of the zone. Bucell gets it past Ruiz, working in short-handed, shot stopped by Risar. Back the other way comes Rubtsov. This is now a 5-on-4 hat tricks power play as Lockhart takes the puck and dumps it down. 20 seconds left on the penalty to Luke James. Sasinski wheeled it ahead. Legkov had it poked away. That messed up the timing on the zone entry and draws the play offside at the Prowler line. Now faceoff will be just outside the Prowlers' end with 7 seconds left on James's penalty. A lot of passing around for the hat tricks on the 4-on-3 portion of the show. Didn't get too much on net, and the shots that did go through missed wide. They got credit for 1 on that power play as James is out of the box. Parsons gets to the red line. Gets to the hat tricks blue, off to the right wing side to James. Shovels it towards the cage. Tukane gloved it down and got it out. Lockhart off a stick and up out of play. So we get a whistle and a face-off. Well, stick around for the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We will give you the latest episode of Behind the Eyes, the Prowlers training camp documentary. Remember that? We didn't forget about it. All right, we will have the latest episode, FPHL storylines, out-of-town scores, and more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. Austin Federley goes to the left wing side towards Lockney. He'll swipe it deep. Came off the Zamboni door and had to be cleared away by Sasinski as Risar stayed pinned to his goal line to make sure it didn't carry him off of him. Graham looking for the trailer Organ. And he couldn't keep that puck in the zone. So the Prowlers have to come out and touch up for the offside. Sasinski dealing with Graham. Got it ahead to Tukane. The defenseman starts in, and the save made by Huber on the long-range chance. Under 2 to go in period 1. Legkov behind the net. Out to the line. Legro sent it through, looking for a deflection. Wrap chance. didn't get all the way around as Favaro cut off Ruiz. Robbie Price at the red line. Hat-trick's back in numbers. Price throwing on the brakes, knocked down to his knees. Puck's right there. Prowlers coming off the bench to help him. Anderson pulls it out of the pile. Then he couldn't get it off to DeCumbis. Legkov tried to make a move that didn't work. Favaro, long lead pass kicked off of DeCumbis' boot. Bazal trying to settle down the puck. He shoots, and a save made by Risar. And Mavali will give it right back to Sebastian Risar for a whistle. Final minute of play in period 1. Still scoreless between the Prowlers and the Hat-tricks here in Danbury. Take another look at that chance for Connor Bazal. And Mavali making sure that Risar is able to cover it. Draw one back by Bucell. James went toppling over a hat-trick. Here comes Fronduto. Chipped it ahead. Huber poked out with the goal stick. Parsons watching the two-a-side scrum. So is Fronduto. Seconds tick away in this Munger physical therapy first period. Puck stays pinned along those corner boards. Finally kicked out to the line. Mavali's chance blockered out off to the boards by Huber, and then came back out in front. Newberg and Parsons went into the net together, and that's the reason for the whistle. So the save there by Huber, and Parsons and Newberg just came together, and net got dislodged. Faceoff will be outside the Prowler zone, which is important with just 19 seconds left in period number 1. Off the draw, it's Alex Johnson. Sending it ahead to Graham. Has Hakel on his right, sent it to Lockney on his left. But his attempt towards the net blocked up out of play. .6 and chance for a face-off win and a quick shot for the Prowlers. We'll see if they can draw up a face-off play. Tied up. Graham tried to poke it back to Hakela. Hat-tricks get it out. It's Legkov with 2. He'll just dump it in. And that will do it. 20 minutes down. And neither team able to find the back of the net. We're scoreless in Danbury. Shots on goal in that opening period, favoring the Prowlers 16-12. Both teams had power play opportunities. Prowlers a 5-on-3, Hat-tricks a 4-on-3. But neither side able to find the twine. Once again, coming up in our PHP Network first intermission report, we will send it back to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton, and he will get you to Behind the Eyes, the latest episode of the Prowlers training camp documentary. Also, take a look at some storylines from around the FPHL, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Chris Paulin and the rest of the squad will chat about that opening 20 minutes in the locker room while we're doing all that. And while you're waiting for period 2 to begin, how about you go hit up shop.phprowlers.com. The Port Huron Prowlers online team store, available 24/7, will ship to you whether you're in America, whether you're in Canada, whether you're anywhere else around the world. So visit shop.phprowlers.com to get all of the new Prowlers gear. You can also find it in person on the southwest end of McMorran Arena. And be sure to stay tuned into the Prowlers social media channels to find out when it may be open on non-game days as well. But if you are in that team store during a game or not during a game, you can walk around, touch, feel, see everything that we have in stock. So go check out the new Prowlers team store and find it online, shop.phprowlers.com. You can scan that QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop right now. And while I know that we have an audience of FPHL fans beyond just the Prowlers and Hat Tricks, I want to let you know, if you haven't seen them yet, the Continental Division and Empire Division pucks are still available, as far as I know, on shop.phprowlers.com. We'll ship them to you. So no matter who you're a fan of, you can find a puck with your team's logo on it on our website. So check it out there. See if they're still in stock and get yourself a late Christmas gift. Prowlers and Hat Tricks still searching for the first goal of the night. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. High five?
Yeah, hon, we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
It has been a ton of fun. Every day goes by in the blink of an eye. We're on the ice, off the ice, back on the ice, off the ice, and it's not only been great skating, but it's been a blast being around all the guys, just making a lot of new friends, so it's been a great opportunity.
It's been tough. I think this is one of the hardest training camps that we've had here, which is good because we'll be more prepared than we've ever been. I think that's just a testament to our strides over the last, I'd say, 4 years after Matt took over. I think we're just getting more prepared every day and every year. Last year, I was put in a lot of spots that I've never been put in before, leading people. Just the different situations on the ice, off the ice, away from the rink. I think it takes a lot of humility and being humble and knowing that, just to see everybody for who they are, not correcting all of their wrongs, even, when I think they're wrong. So honestly, they have taught me more about myself than I've taught them probably, but I think it just takes a whole group right now to start the season, and then I'll be able to lead more towards the back end of it. But right now it's about the guys.
Something I think about a lot wherever I go to play hockey is trying to leave wherever I go better than I found it. And I think of a program like Dubuque is a new one, so of course I wanted to conduct myself with as much professionalism and leadership as I could there, but that's no different than being here in an organization that's been around and established for a while. I think that just wherever you go, trying to lead, no matter how old you are, no matter how established you are, leading with character and trying to leave the locker room, the rink, your teammates, staff better than the way you found it is a really important trait.
Yeah, it's been really competitive. The biggest thing is we've done a lot of conditioning. This is probably one of the hardest training camps we've had. It's good. It's good to see guys competing and battling with each other. That's kind of been the theme and what we're trying to drive out of everyone out here. So it's been pretty good so far, and looking forward to getting started and getting into a routine next week. I mean, we've been going hard, for a few days now, twice a day. Battling, competing, conditioning, doing a lot of stuff like that. So, we talked as a staff and felt that time would be better spent, going over video, letting the guys recover a little bit, rather than continuing to drive them into the ground. We made the decision to transition the skate to video, and we'll try to get more out of that and get a mental sweat in.
You have 25 seconds to get from this line down to the goal line, and then you have the rest of the minute to get back to the original start. After 10 rounds, it starts getting faster. 11th round, you have 24 seconds to get down, 36 to get back. 12th round, 23 down, 37 back, and so on. And we're going all the way down to 15 seconds. The ways you don't make it or don't pass, you quit, for one, stop running. You don't touch a line in time. So the way Will's gonna do it is 24, 25, 26. When he says 26, whoever's not done is gonna mark it off. Now it's very important, and the expectation is you do not quit, right? So if you don't pass one round, that doesn't mean you can't pass the next round. Catch up, all right? So this works on obviously the conditioning, and obviously works on like mental focus, because your mind's gonna play tricks with you as it starts to get quicker. And also you can crush the test, but if you lose focus, you might miss a line or might not time it correctly. So focus. And then obviously it's all about team. So we have 11 guys going and 11 guys getting rowdy for it. All right, the goal is for everyone to pass. So it's very important to think more than just about yourself. When you're not going, you're getting the boys going, helping them pass.
Let's go, come on.
There we go, boys.
Danbury isn't doing this. Thanks for the push, fellas.
Everything's about bringing us together as a group, right? And that teaches you to take the focus off yourself, put it on your teammates, because we're only as strong as each other, right? It's a great job, Fetz. Bring us down here.
Yeah. Let's go, boys. All right, 11s.
Hey, that's the first week. Now the real work starts, hey? Danbury in less than a week. Plant the flag back in there. Yeah. Who's on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Nice, boy.
Hey, real quick.
Thanks.
We're filming it? Nice, I hope I win big.
If you do win the jackpot, though, the rule is that you have to pay for my wedding.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Definitely.
You should have put an ice.
Come here.
Come on.
He said yes. Got that.
Another great look behind the scenes of the Prowlers getting ready for this season by our own Aiden Bricker. Again, if you want to see, you've seen all those episodes, a great addition to the broadcast. We'll take a break, come back with more on the intermission. We'll go back out to Connecticut with Will right after this here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah. This isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers Hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Prowlers Hockey.
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers and hat-trick still scoreless through the first 20 minutes of play. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for tuning in and spending your Sunday afternoon with us as the Prowlers and hat-tricks battle in the only game on the FPHL slate today. It was not scheduled to be on the FPHL slate today, but here we are. Snowstorm ends up in us getting, we'll call it a national broadcast today, as we have fans from all over the league tuning in. Again, thank you so much for checking us out today, and hope you are enjoying today's game between the Prowlers and hat-tricks. Maybe we'll find a goal for you here in this second period. But before we get there, let's take a look around the league with our thumb rust control storylines. And, well, since there was not too much time between games ending last night and this one starting today, not much happened in the league, especially on a quiet Sunday. But we'll talk about the games that did happen last night, and we'll start with the Binghamton Black Bears, who beat the Watertown Wolves by a score of 6-1 last night in Watertown. They reached 67 points, 12 points clear of the next closest team, which would be the Monroe Moccasins in the Continental Division. They have now won 14 in a row. Connor Green of the Baton Rouge Zydeco picked up his first win of the season in a 3-0 shutout over the Biloxi Breakers. 35 saves for Green, as the Zydeco have continued to find ways to get points. Last night they get a win, and last weekend they played 3 games at home, 3 overtime losses, but still building up those points are the Baton Rouge Zydeco, sitting down there in the basement of the Continental Division. Actually, they jumped past, they're 6th in the Continental Division. My apologies to the Zydeco fans. Finally, we get to those Moccasins, the aforementioned Monroe Moccasins, and they did the Prowlers a favor, beating the Topeka Scarecrows and sweeping them this weekend. Came back from a 3-1 second period deficit, and the Mocs take over control of first place in the Continental Division after sweeping the Scarecrows on the road. Let's take a look now at the out-of-town scoreboard, although no out-of-town scores to show you, so we get our local hockey scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir, and that being local to the Michigan area. Got 3 OHL games that people in our area might care about. We'll start with the Saginaw Spirit, who are visiting the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds in a West Division clash. Another West Division clash between the top 2 teams in that division at 4 o'clock between the Windsor Spitfires and the Flint Firebirds. And then finally, just across the river from Port Huron, the Sarnia Sting will be hosting the London Knights. In the NHL tonight, the Detroit Red Wings, the Atlantic Division leading Detroit Red Wings, by the way, will host the Toronto Maple Leafs. And of course, here scoreless between the Prowlers and the Danbury Hat Tricks live. The local hockey scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. As teams hit the ice here, let's take a quick look at the totals from the game so far. Prowlers 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, depending on how you want to look at it. They did have a double minor called against Danbury, but 0 for 2 officially in this game. On the power play, Hat Tricks 0 for 1. Teams combined for 29 shots on net, but none of them found the back of the cage. As Bailey Huber made 12 saves on 12 hat-trick shots. Sebastian Risar, 17 saves on 17 Prowler shots. No penalties to tell you about to begin period number 2. As we get set for the face-off to begin the Hungry Howie's second period. Jamie Bucell and Josh Newberg will line up for the face-off. And the middle period has begun with a toss into the Prowlers' end by Josh Tomasi. Bucell gave it off to James, and it comes back to Bucell into the offensive zone. Looking across towards James, hit his own man, Bucell, who is driving the net. Fronduto off the glass out of the zone. Bucell couldn't get it in deep as he fanned Tukane off the glass. And down to Prowler territory. Brett Lockhart, indirect feed, gets all the way through to Bucell. He works in, off to Bucell, off his stick, cycled down deep, cut off by Sasinski. Hat Tricks look to move the other way. Tukane all the way up to Fronduto, who was knocked down by Nick Favaro. Legkov, first one on that loose puck. Wheeling around the top of the zone, sends it below the goal line. Johnson got there in front of Robinson. Anderson works it off the boards to Johnson. Looking ahead to Price at the Hat Tricks blue line. Has a man breaking. It's Anderson! And Price got it there. Risar may have made the save. Anderson out in front. And Risar got the paddle down to deny Price. Battled for right in front of the Prowler bench. And it comes back to Austin Pickford, number 4. Missed Legkov with that pass. It will go all the way down, but not quick enough to get the icing call. Hakala tried to get it to Graham, but Crom poked it down to Huber, and he'll cover up for a whistle and a face-off, our first whistle of period number 2. Hakala a little bit handcuffed by that pass, had to choke up on his stick, but a good step by Crom to get right in the passing lane. They dropped the puck, but not fairly, so Fennell and Graham will see it dropped again between them. This time it comes to the boards. Kinderka up top. Mavali's shot steered away by Huber. Tukane wrists it through, deflected, ends up in the near corner. Austin Federle, Prowler's captain behind his net, gave it away off the referee, and Kandurka's shot over top of the net as Federle tried to rim it up the wall, and it ended up hitting the referee in the corner. Prowlers get it out. It's Graham chasing in the offensive end. Left it there, hoping Heikkila could get to it. Instead, it was Tukane. Puck gloved down by Lucas Lockney. Gotten out of the zone by Danbury. Favaro takes a look. Spins back behind the net. Favaro up to Morick. Tried to tap it along. Couldn't find a teammate. Comes back to Parsons, and he rims it deep. Risar still active with that goal stick. Saw that a lot yesterday. Battled for in the corner as Ruiz trying to pull it out. Third hat trick into that battle. 3 hat tricks, 2 Prowlers, and Ruiz finally comes up with the puck. Ruiz gets the red line, sends it all the way around. Legkov and Favaro tie up. 3-on-3 battle here. Legkov trying to escape. Smushed to the wall by Parsons. Bucell pins it along with Rubtsov. James lost the handle. Huber has seen enough, and he'll cover up. Chance for the Prowlers to reset in the defensive zone after all kinds of battles along the boards. You see Luke James, who scored yesterday. Couldn't tell who it was that scored that goal yesterday, but it did end up going to Luke James. Part of a 2-goal second period for Port Huron that gave them a lead they wouldn't relinquish. Huber stops it behind his net. Johnson ahead to Anderson, and now DeCumbis wheels up with Anderson. Turns back, looking for the open option, but couldn't get back to Federle cleanly. Johnson takes the handoff into the offensive zone. Tried to sweep it out in front, couldn't do it. DeCumbis ungoaled and tipped up out of play. Blake Anderson was in the area. Faceoff will be to Risar's right as the Prowlers get a chance deep in the hat tricks territory. Top line out for Port Huron as the faceoff won back by Robinson away from Graham. Parsons ahead towards Heikkila. Tried to get it deep, couldn't do it. Now we'll go over to Lockney. He'll reset again with Organ. Organ cross corner dump. Pickford gets to it. Up to Belfay. Pass exploded off of Robinson's stick. And then he turned it over to Heikkila. 3 hat tricks back. R2 Heikkila's shot rising off of Risar's glove and up out of play. Risar checked his mitt to see if it was in there. It was not. Luckily for the Danbury netminder, it was in the protective netting out of play. So we take a look there from Aiden Vision. Aiden Bricker, our roaming camera operator tonight here in Danbury. Off this face-off, Austin Federle looks to float the puck through. Instead, he goes to James. Bazal chasing after the puck. Hat-trick went down, arm went up, but from Justin Movalli and not the referee. So play continues. Federle wheels away from Robinson. Bucell into the offensive zone, sticked by Risar. Pickford ahead. Pass was partially deflected and turned right back in. Bazal gets to it first. Holds along the boards. He was double teamed. Out come the hat tricks. Belfay at the red line rims it around. Crom gets it deep. Graham tried to go up to Johnson, but had Crom to deal with. Kandurka pulls the puck off the wall. Couldn't get back to the point though. James out towards Lockney, out of his reach. Lockney hustling in on the forecheck as Tukane sweeps it up. Here comes Crom, has help. He'll dump it around. Favaro chops it along the boards. Kondurka had it poked out by Lockney. Sisinski hustling to it. Spins it up to the Prowler blue line. Fennell couldn't get his pass out though. Touch pass comes all the way across in Hakala's direction, too far in front. Neither team really able to get much going here. Possibly expected after the scheduling changes that have occurred this weekend. Again, this game was originally slated for 7:30 p.m. last Friday, 2 nights ago, but due to a snowstorm, they switched it to this afternoon. There's a steal in the offensive zone by Rubtsov, but couldn't get a pass out. Price looking back towards DeCumbis. Didn't get through. And now it's Oregon. Ahead to Price. Flips it in. Cross corner dump. Anderson and Pickford get there together. DeCumbis and Ruiz also digging for that puck. Price lifted a stick. Comes to the line. Parsons filters it there. Save, rebound, score! Vinny DeCumbis right on the doorstep. And the Prowlers find the first goal. And the monkey off the back for DeCumbis. He snaps a 10-game point drought with his 3rd of the year. And more good hard work from this Price, DeCumbis, Anderson line to cause a turnover. Brian Parsons so good at filtering pucks to the net. And DeCumbis right on the spot, all by himself at the top of the blue paint. Prowlers finally break the ice just over 7 minutes into period 2. Hat-Trick's looking for a response, but Huber sticks Movalli's attempt up out of play, and we'll take a break. Vinny DeCumbis has the Prowlers on the board first. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network. Back here in Danbury, Vinny DeCumbis has the Prowlers up 1-0. 12:39 left to go in period 2. Brian Parsons currently being credited with the only assist on that one for Parsons, his 9th helper of the year. Huber able to stick aside an attempt towards the net right off that face-off. And Justin Movalli puts it right back deep in the Prowlers' end. Lockhart able to get it out, brought back in by Tukane. Working on Parsons. Long range shot blocked by Parsons. Centered out in front. Swinging and missing was Newberg. Movalli put it back down deep. Missed off the backboards. Plenty of bodies flying in front as Movalli took that shot. Here's Bucell all the way across looking for Morick. And it was Tomasi who got his stick in the lane. And then Tomasi sent it out of play. And it looks like we may have a delay of game penalty coming here against Josh Tomasi, as he hit those bleachers on the far side. And And indeed, that is the call. So the Prowlers to their third power play of this game. They're 0 for 2 so far as Josh Tomasi sits 2 minutes for delay of game. Port Huron had a full 2-minute 5-on-3 in the opening period. Got 8 shots on net during not just the 5-on-3, but the 4-minute double minor that was part of it. But unable to beat Sebastian Resart. Here's a shorthanded chance for Crom, and just a bit outside with that shot. Crom still causing trouble in the Prowlers' end. Now Port Huron able to grab control, and they'll try and start up ice. Graham kicks it up to his tape. Gets in. Johnson drops it back to Lockney. Crom causing trouble. Here's Johnson to Bucell. Looks up, sets up. Federley across the blue line to Johnson. Wrists it down low to Lockney. Back up high, Federley. 45 seconds go on this Prowlers power play. Lockney, Johnson rips it wide. Came off the backboards right to Mavalli, and he clears it all the way down. Port Huron switching up the unit as Huber plays it away from Josh Newberg. Favaro takes control. He'll skate with it into the offensive end. Favaro had it poked off his stick. Able to swipe it back to Hakala. Sent it right back down deep. Price gets there with Pickford. Prowler got dumped by Legro. Out comes Danbury shorthanded. 30 seconds left on the Port Huron power play as Pickford run into the boards by Lockhart. Anderson to the red line to the Hat Tricks blue. Throws on the break, sends it down deep. Price back up high. Got to Lockhart at the point. Favaro, a wrister missed wide. Lockhart able to hustle over and keep it in. Price's pass was to nobody as Favaro had left the offensive zone, and that will do it for that Prowlers power play. Anderson off to Hakala. Left wing side, rising shot, stop, rebound there. Anderson trying to pull it back out in front. Price grabs the puck. Federley sends it through, didn't get all the way, as there was plenty of traffic in front. Robinson chased by Price. Here comes Legkov. Working on Organ. Legkov centering feed out in front, and swinging and missing was Robinson. Here come the Prowlers on the counter. James had his shot blocked by Sisinski. Morick throws on the brakes to the net. Save Resar. He'll gather back in the rebound for a whistle and a face-off. 9:13 left in period 2. Prowlers with a 1-0 lead.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Danbury, past the midway point of the hockey game. Just one goal so far, and it belongs to Vinny DeCumbus.
Yes, he was killed off.
Shots in this period, 6-4 in favor of the Prowlers, 23-16 for the game. Prowlers trying to win their 4th straight. Hat Tricks trying to avoid dropping 5 in a row. And it's tossed all the way down. And Lakekov thought he won the race for icing. They say he did not.
Fans, Larry will not be signing autographs today. Please do not approach him. Please do not approach the celebrity.
Faceoff will come all the way back down. Lakekov and Oregon were racing, and Alexander Lakekov has a ton of speed. Great player here for these Danbury hat tricks. As Johnson goes across, one-timer, Favaro kicked out, rebound, poked wide. The first shot changed direction, and the rebound just didn't sit well enough for the Prowlers to put it back on net. As that puck was bouncing, here's Favaro, back on goal, he scores! A long-range wrister from Nick Favaro has doubled the Prowlers' lead. Ninth of the year for Favaro, and this shot may have just surprised Sebastian Resar. And maybe a nice moving screen there from Blake Anderson, who you see immediately pointing at Favaro. You take a look from Aiden Vision. Perfect moving screen again from Anderson. And I don't think he touched that. I think it went straight through. So it is Favaro's 9th of the year. A 2-0 Prowler lead. Hayden Fennell headed off, and it's dumped in by Crum. Legro pinches in to try and grab that puck. Instead, it's Bazal. Parsons digging away. A couple of hat tricks in there as well. Bazal spinning off of Crum. Lockhart behind his net. Sends it out towards James. Loose puck. Bucell hustling to it. James gets there. Tried to get it towards Bucell, but Sosinski came back to get in the passing lane. Up the other way comes Danbury. Kendurka to Fennell. Drops it off. Sosinski to the net. Blocked. Fennell trying to turn the corner. Spins back. Down to Kendurka. Bazal recollects behind his net. And now Bucell starts out. He'll get the red line, dump it in. Prowler's getting a change. Goal by Favaro. Currently listed as unassisted, but they did announce assists here in the building. I believe Bobby Price was one of them. It's Rubtsov heading up for the hat tricks, working on Federley. Rubtsov had it neatly taken off his stick by the Prowlers captain. Graham up with speed. Had the puck come back to him, though. Graham is having an issue with his pants. Matt Graham's hockey pants are wide open. They need to be sewn back shut. The left side of his pant you see there. Meanwhile, hat-trick's working in the offensive end. Graham still defending. Legro to the net, sticked away by Huber. Fronduto had it poked off his stick by Federley. Popped out, Graham for Lockney. Johnson down behind the play, and they'll blow it dead. There you see Matt Graham's pants. They are hustling hat-trick's trainer Adrian Dembeck out onto the ice to go check on Alex Johnson. He's down on his hands and knees over there in the far corner in the Prowler's end. They check on him. See if we can see that hit again, maybe. They continue to check on Alex Johnson. Watching that far corner. There's Johnson getting into the battle, and looks like he got hit right on the numbers there. He's heading back to the bench under his own power. Johnson seems to be all right. Face-off will be deep in Prowler territory, or no, are they going to point the face-off somewhere else? Face-off will be at center ice. You see Alex Johnson remaining on the Prowler bench, and in the background you see Matt Graham putting on a new pair of pants. With help from Ken Falke, the Prowlers equipment manager, and now they bring the face-off down to Prowler territory. Face-off one back by Robinson. Patrick's look to go to work, but the pass across the blue line picked off by Anderson. On the right wing side, Anderson run into the backboards by Legro. And here comes Legkov with speed. Gets in, cuts to the middle, didn't get much of a shot away, got back to the puck, and Huber tracked it the whole way to make the save. Alexander Legkov tried to dice his way through, got back to the puck, and Bailey Huber stayed right with him. As the puck came right back to him, Huber slid across, got it with the goal stick, and rode it up out of play. 6:06 left to go in period 2. Still 2-0 lead for Port Huron. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. It's Bucell working one-on-one against Fennell with Rubsov on the back check. Bucell spun away from a check, sent it out in front. Ends up behind the cage. Ruiz up the other direction. Flips it right in on Huber. He'll catch and hang on for a whistle and a face-off. So the assists on the goal by Favaro, they've just put them in. Vinny DeCumbis and Bobby Price. So DeCumbis, a goal and an assist so far in this one. Matt Graham back out there. Seems to have gotten his equipment issue all sorted out. He'll take the face-off against Ruiz. Comes to the boards, rimmed around by Organ. Lockney tried to chop it ahead. Instead, it's behind the net. Lockney gets back to it. Federley backhands the puck right out of the zone. Fennell, who's now on the blue line, at least for this shift. That took a funny hop and ended up right in front of the Prowler net. And Fennell started this game as a forward, but a natural defenseman, Caden Fennell. And speaking of natural players playing a different position, there's Austin Federley, the natural forward, playing defense today. And as he's been for the past few weeks, he was the one that dumped that puck in. Favaro gloves the puck down. Here's Johnson, a wrister save, rebound, score! It's Matt Graham on the rebound, and the Prowlers take a 3-0 lead. Shots from the point. Continuing to be the recipe for success for the Prowlers. Johnson got it through. Risar left a juicy rebound for the Prowlers' leading goal scorer to put home. His 12th of the year, extends his point streak to 7 for Matt Graham. Alex Johnson is team high 18th helper of the season. Danbury trying for a response. Anderson center looking for Legkov. Puck was up in the air. Price getting to it. Bounce it back to Johnson. Under 5 to go in period 2. Prowlers have exploded for 3 in this period. Here comes Austin Belfay. As Legkov going to net, sent it there. Huber put it back below the goal line. Favaro up to Anderson. Favaro hustling to join the rush. The two former Monroe Moccasins starting it, but Anderson's shot is blocked. Crom gets to the puck in the far corner. And now it's Belfay. Takes a look, wraps it around, took the hop off the Zamboni door. Bazal able to get there first and knock the puck out of danger. Sent around again. And this time Lockhart stops it before it gets to the Zamboni door. Bucell couldn't chip it by. Hat trick went sprawling. It's Bazal on the puck. Over to Bucell. Back behind the net it goes. Tukane up the wall and out. Lockhart, D for Parsons. Off the near side corner. Chipped up the wall, kept in by Lockhart. He'll send it back down deep. James behind the net. Lost the puck. And Brett Lockhart settles down in his own end as we approach 3 minutes left to go in period number 2. Prowlers with a 3-0 lead. And the small crowd that did come out on this Sunday afternoon, very, very quiet. Federley. High flip into the offensive zone. Flag down by Legro. Kandurka ridden off by Graham. Organ had it tipped into the offensive zone. Legro swipes it up. Price sends the puck right back down. Fresh off the bench. Legro will try the far side this time. Tomasi gets it out. Johnson starts right back up the other way. Anderson with the hat tricks in the midst of a change. Got it to Organ. Or Johnson, pardon me. DeCumbus back towards Johnson. And that play misfired. Price sends it back down low. DeCumbus takes his man into the corner. Puck pops out to Fennell. Tossed out. Lakekov able to grab it on the other side. 2-on-1. Fed it over. Kandurka stopped by Huber. Biggest save of the game so far for Huber. Hat-tricks still trying to pressure. Johnson had his stick lifted. Penalty coming up as Huber jumps on top of the puck. We'll get you that call when we come back here in Danbury. It's 3-0 Prowlers.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold.
Hungry
Howie's.
Looking for a pregame meal? Zip Sauce Burger is located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. Prowlers going to their 4th power play of the game. Noah Robinson is in the box. They have not announced the penalty call quite yet. I'll let you know when I know, but I do know that if the Prowlers don't score their 4th goal of the period, by the time the buzzer sounds, they'll have about 21 seconds of power play time to work with when we come back for period 3. Federley sent it ahead towards Graham. Slashing is what's announced here in the building as the penalty to Robinson. Johnson off the backboards. Bucell up high. Federley floats it over to Johnson. Wrister gloved by Resar. Doesn't leave a rebound that time. A tick over a minute to go until we get to the second intermission. And we'll have the second intermission report here for you on the PHP Network. Brady Beaton back in our McMorran Place studios. We'll have highlights and analysis. I'll take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and more. Keep it locked in here on the PHP Network. Huber stick handling, and it'll leave it behind the net for Favaro. Bobby Price fires into the offensive zone. Wrapped it around through Anderson to Lockhart. Favaro puts it back deep. Anderson up high towards Favaro. Took a hop on him. And it comes all the way back down. 25 seconds left in the period. Favaro slowly up to Price, and now Anderson in with speed. Blake Anderson with a sharp angle try. And Resar shoulders up out of play with 13.7 on the clock. Port Huron will switch back to its first unit for what may be the final face-off of period 2, although plenty of time for them to set up a play. Puck dropped and cleared down by Danbury, and that should do it for the middle 20. Prowlers will head into the third with a 3-goal lead, trying to sweep the hat tricks here in Danbury, and they'll begin the third period with 21 seconds of power play time. They get 3, one from Vinny DeCumbis, one from Nick Favaro, and one from Matt Graham in that middle frame. They outshoot the hat tricks 12-9 in the middle 20. And a great chance to head home with 6 points. As we watch them head off to the locker room, once again want to remind you that coming up on the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network, send it back to Brady Beaton in our McLaurin Place studios with highlights and analysis. Also take a look at the out-of-town scores, Prowler's upcoming schedule, and much more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. As both teams head to the locker rooms to chat about this first 40 minutes of play. Well, Prowlers will be back home on January the 2nd, this upcoming Friday. The first Friday of 2026, they take on the Indiana Sentinels at 7:05 p.m. It is 80s night, so come dressed in your best 80s garb. And the Prowlers will also be giving away 500 adult jerseys to the first fans 21 and over into the building, courtesy of the exhibit. So again, be one of the first 500 fans, 21 and over, and you get a free Prowlers jersey, courtesy of the exhibit. You can get your tickets now at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or by scanning the QR code on your screen now. That's online, phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan that QR code on your screen now to check out the new McMorran Place experience. Check out the first game of 2026 at McMorran Place and get there early. Get yourself a jersey. We will take a time out, and when we come back, we will be with Brady Beaton at our McMorran Place studios. Looks like we have the ticket screen up. That's how you get your tickets, phprowlers.com/tickets. Get those single game tickets, and you know what? You can find tickets for every home game the rest of the way. So check that out now while you're waiting for period number 3 to begin. And we'll be right back with Brady Beaton here on the PHP Network.
Christmas is about gratitude, and we're really thankful for everyone who supported our new coffee launch.
I'm just thankful for this coffee and fire to keep me alive during the holiday rush.
Well, I'm really thankful for this new eggnog latte to keep me warm during
Eggnog. Eggnog. Funny word.
Try any of our new holiday specials at the Milk House. We look forward to warming your soul this holiday season.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Come on, guys, hop in.
We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail.
Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat? I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat. From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel, shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers theme creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Hello, home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a hope play. I'll take. Come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Back here on the PHP Network, Brady Beaton here at the McMorran Place Studios as your Prowlers up 3-0. Hope you all are enjoying what for you guys at home is a quiet Sunday afternoon. It was a quiet first period for the Prowlers and the Hat-Tricks. Took a little while to get the juices flowing. Let's take a look at the highlights to see how we got to this point. Had some Prowlers fans all the way out in Connecticut and another Wiggleman sighting. Bigger Will out there as some early chances for both sides. Bailey Huber with an early save to keep the Hat-Tricks off the board. You remember a night ago, Danbury was able to score early on in the game, but could never really capture the momentum. Bailey Huber keeping them out of the net early on, as then the Prowlers had an opportunity on a 5-on-3, but then the ting rings out through the Danbury Ice Arena as it's off the crossbar, still 0-0 in the first period. A one-time opportunity coming up as, again, couldn't find the back of the net in the first period, had a chance there, just pushed it a little wide. Turnover inside the Danbury blue line, and a little too cute here, maybe too many passes before a shot on goal attempt. attempt, and still 0-0 as we go to the second period. Flipping ends of the ice, Port Huron would get it going. It was DeCumbus right on the doorstep, and there was a lot of open net to bury it. Here's another look from the Aiden Vision camera. Comes right, I mean, that one, yeah, goalies aren't really to blame when a guy's got to look like that. 1-0 Port Huron as we go to the second goal. Nick Favaro wasn't maybe the highest quality chance. A little flick of the wrist from the left side point, and it just trickles by and into the back of the net. Anderson immediately saying, you scored it, Nick, as it's 2-0 Port Huron. As they're starting to take control of this one. Matt Graham, he's trying to fix his pants, and then immediately after, Matt Graham, again, always seemingly in the right spot, buries it, tickles the twine, puts it in the back of the net to make it 3-0 Port Huron. And that's where the Prowlers stand right now. It's been a very exciting second period. They were able to take control of that one, and it really feels like the Prowlers have sucked all the air out of Danbury Ice Arena. You don't get a lot of Sunday games anymore in the FPHL. You go back half a decade, 3-3s weren't completely uncommon, especially when there were less teams and more travel. You'd find those 3 games in 3 days, and those Sundays, they can get a little sleepy at times. So for Port Huron to weather that early storm and not falter on those missed opportunities, to find a way to get back in this one, and not just get back in this, but take control, and they really feel like they're starting to find their swagger a little bit more. It started last weekend against Blue Ridge, a couple of wins there, and to go out to Danbury, and I know Danbury, again, isn't what they were in years past, but to get two wins to start the season, and now 20 minutes away from getting another sweep at the end of the calendar year would be a great way to get the Prowlers back on the winning track. We'll have more for you coming up here on the Intermission Reports. 40 minutes have come and gone. 3-0 Port Huron Prowlers right here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here on the PHP Network, 3-0 Port Huron on top of Danbury. So when the Prowlers come home for Danbury, they're going to have 3 games. They're going to have a New Year's Eve game in Columbus, Indiana against the Sentinels. But when they come back to McMorrin Arena, when the building behind me, when this barn is jumping, it will be the first game of 2026 as the Sentinels come to town. And as Will's talked about, a jersey giveaway to the first 500 fans that are 21 and up, courtesy of Exhibit. And you see here on the screen, this might be one of the best giveaways you find, not just with the Prowlers, not just in the Fed, but anywhere. A free jersey giveaway. And again, you see them up on the screen. That's a legit jersey. You're not going to, usually you get something small, maybe other little trick, but a whole jersey. Again, that's straight up. Show up, 21 plus, first 500 fans get a jersey. So I would encourage fans, to get here early, maybe eat a little early dinner on the second, because I have a feeling there might be a little bit of a line coming in for that game. And what a way to bring in the new year with a brand new jersey. And then also on the 4th, the Prowlers will be at Exhibit for a meet and greet, a signing. You can find all the extra information on the Prowlers social media. You have them on Facebook. You have them on Twitter/X, Instagram. You can find them everywhere. And again, the graphic you just saw also on there as well. So mark your calendars. The next home game on January 2nd, the first 500 fans get a free Prowlers jersey courtesy of Exhibit. And again, I'm going to reiterate, you're not going to find many better giveaways than that this year in the entire world of sports. Port Huron up 3-0, looking to make it a fun 6-point weekend out in Connecticut. Maybe a little longer than they thought they'd be. Probably thought they'd be at home right now, but this game made up from Friday's snow out. So they're looking to finish it off in Connecticut. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll be back out in Danbury Ice Arena right here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers with a 3-0 lead over the Danbury Hat Tricks. Will Wiggleman with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us today for the only game in the Fed this afternoon. Before we get to the rest of this one, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Prowlers. Of course, after this game, Prowlers will have to head down to Indiana on New Year's Eve. That was originally a 9:30 p.m. scheduled game. It has been changed to 7:30 p.m. So instead of celebrating the new year at Hamilton Community Ice Arena, the Prowlers will be able to celebrate it on the bus on the way back to Port Huron, as they will take on the Sentinels on the 2nd and 3rd at home. We've already talked at length about that January 2nd game, 80s night, the jersey giveaway. But on the 3rd is an awesome and always popular specialty night. Prowlers will be wearing masquerade-themed jerseys for the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics game. Of course, Prowlers have a Special Olympian on their bench in Brian Larson, one of the equipment managers for the Prowlers. So he will be all dressed up, and he'll be the special coach of the night as usual. And again, a masquerade theme this year from the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics, and a post-game jersey auction with all the money to benefit the Special Olympics. Prowlers are off the following weekend. No games on the 9th and 10th, but we have a couple of appearances for you. First, on the 4th at 1 p.m., Prowlers will be at the Exhibit to sign jerseys, sign autographs, little fan meet and greet. So especially if you get one of those jerseys courtesy of the Exhibit on Friday, come out on Sunday. Again, you have to be 21 and or older to get into the Exhibit and be part of that. But people of all ages can come join us on that Wednesday at Wings Etc. for the Prowlers Coaches Show, 6:30 p.m. on January the 7th. We are excited to have the Coaches Show back, and if it's half as good as our last one with Luke James, you're in for a good time. So come out to Wings Etc. for that. Come out to the Exhibit Cannabis Company for our meet and greet on Sunday the 4th, a week from today. And that's how you'll get through your week of no hockey for the Prowlers. They will be back the following weekend after that. One of 2 off weekends for Port Huron this season. Let's take a look now at our local sports scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. And we have one game in action from our local hockey scoreboard, and it is the Saginaw Spirit all over the Sioux. through 20 minutes of play. It's 3-0 Saginaw. Dimian Zilkin, Sebastian Gervais, and Carson Harmer with the goals for the Spirit on the road against Sault Ste. Marie. Dropping the puck in just about an hour from now, a little over an hour, the Windsor Spitfires and the Flint Firebirds, 4 p.m. And then tonight, just across the river from Port Huron in Sarnia, the Sting take on the London Knights. In the NHL tonight, the Detroit Red Wings have the Toronto Maple Leafs at Little Caesars Arena, trying to maintain their spot atop the Atlantic Division. And of course here, it is 3-0 Prowlers over the Danbury Hat-Tricks through 40 minutes of play as we get set for the start of period number 3. Local hockey scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. Bailey Huber getting set to lead the Prowlers back out onto the ice. 21 saves for him so far in this game. And he's had to be good a couple of times, especially look at that save on Caden Kandurka when the game was tight in that second period. The 2-on-1 with Legkov. Huber came up with the big stop there. And the Prowlers trying to come away with 6 points. Lights a little bit bright there for Alex Johnson. Not too bright for him when puck's on the ice, though. As both teams hitting the ice here at Danbury Ice Arena. Again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. No matter where you're tuning in from, no matter who you're a fan of, we hope you've been enjoying this broadcast on the PHP Network. Let's tell you about the numbers on this one through 40 minutes of play. Hat-Tricks have had just one power play in this one, 3 so far for the weekend. Second straight weekend for the Prowlers where they've really been able to stay out of the penalty box with a lot of success. And it's helped them get to this 3-0 lead, outshooting the Hat-Tricks 29-21. Now the total being shown on the big board here at Danbury Ice Arena. Low penalty minute totals for the Prowlers team that leads the FPHL by a wide margin in the penalty minute category. Port Huron will have 20 more seconds of power play time as we drop the puck in period number 3. And again, this is a period that does not have a sponsor here on the PHP network. So even if you're not from Port Huron, if you just want to see your logo on this fabulous broadcast, be sure to email Chris at phprowlers.com and he can get you some pro-rated rates on advertising here on the PHP network and beyond. Prowlers into the offensive zone as their power play is about to expire. Vinny DeCumbis hands off for Blake Anderson behind the net. Johnson down towards Price, exploded off his stick. Glove down by DeCumbis, and now Mavali takes over. Off the glass out of the zone, Johnson back for Favaro as the Prowlers regroup. Port Huron 0 for 4 on the man advantage as Mavali rips it in, and Hat-Tricks getting a full change going, so Favaro with all kinds of runway to skate into the puck. Favaro continues on moving, still with it. Favaro around behind the net, muscled off by Fennell. Rupsov has Ruiz joining him. 3-on-2 for Danbury. Ruiz drops for Crom. Fanned on the shot, and it's cleared to the corner boards by Federley. Rupsov looking for Ruiz. Poked away by Federley, but a penalty coming up as Ruiz was hooked. So the Hat-Tricks will go to their second man advantage early on in the third. Chance to get themselves back in the game, and it's Lucas Lockney heading to the box. So Hat-Tricks power play, it's 0 for 1 tonight, or this afternoon. Getting a big chance. As it's won back by Morick. And Port Huron clears the length of the ice. Fennell takes the handoff from Resar. Right wing side, Belfay. Tried to go back for Fennell. They had their signals crossed. Bucell shorthanded with Price. Bucell, Price, save, rebound, pushed wide. And then Bucell had his stick slashed out of his hands. Then he was tripped up by Ruiz. And a penalty coming up against the Hat Tricks. That will even things up. And Ruiz helps Bucell to his skates. Fennell, the one heading to the box. Nothing there on Ruiz tripping up Bucell, and a frustrated Caden Fennell slammed the glass in the penalty box. Again, that wasn't the penalty, it was the slash beforehand, but we'll have 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 33 seconds. And just as the Hat Tricks were getting a breath of life and an opportunity to get their fans into the game, they take the penalty. Robinson got down to Tukane, tried the return feed, came back to him. Tukane walks the goal line, tried to center, and it was bounced back. Tukane got tangled up with a couple of Prowlers. Up the other way comes Port Huron. Graham pokes it past Sosinski. Sosinski got back to it. Tukane turning and finding the puck. Harassed by Heikkila. Sosinski spinning off of Heikkila. And now ahead to Tukane. Into the offensive zone, left wing side. Legkov stopped by Huber. Puck bounced down and it went in. Alexander Legkov driving through, able to get the Hat Tricks on the board. Team high 18th of the year for Legkov. As Huber made the first save, it popped high up in the air and dropped behind him. And Danbury now within 2, still lots of time to go. And you see the mad scramble, the puck dropping behind Bailey Huber. Four-on-four will continue for another 43 seconds as Tim Morgan starts up ice. James trying to swing it up top. Oregon gets it back down low. Comes out in front, and Resar had to poke it away from James. Oregon's drive missed wide. Kind of a knuckleballer. Rubtsov working in with Ruiz, 2-on-2. Hands it off. Ruiz to the backhand save. Huber came back out in front, and Huber had to be alert. Rubtsov able to keep it in the zone only momentarily as he has to head off for a change. Prowlers power play coming here for the next 27 seconds as they get their man advantage unit on the ice. Anderson to the right wing side. Lockney takes the shot, swallowed up by Resar, and he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Now, last night, the Prowlers answered quickly each time the Hat Tricks scored. The first one, 61 seconds. Port Huron responded. The second time Danbury scored, it was 34 seconds. See if they can get something quickly here. They won't beat those times, though, as Graham and Robinson get set for the face-off. It's Legkov from Ruiz, and Ruiz, a guy the Prowlers kept very quiet last night. Graham trying to cycle down low. Got through to Lockney, but he couldn't corral it. Federley couldn't keep the puck in, and Fennell out of the box. Back to 5-on-5. Tukane ahead to Robinson. Wraps it all the way around. Belfay and Federley come together. Robinson pulls the puck off the wall. Johnson slipped it to Bucell. Has Graham hustling to join him. Bucell takes the shot, knocked down, and the rebound grabbed by Legkov. He'll start a counter. Robinson tried to go back to Legkov, but threw it right into Bucell. Parsons with some skating room, got it ahead to Graham. Off his stick, though. Lockhart able to poke it away from Legkov. Valley gets to the red line. Dumps the puck in deep. Stopped back there by Huber. Lockhart off the boards. Kept in by Legro. Lockhart will try this side as the reverse to Parsons. Tossed ahead and off of Bizal's glove, but into the Prowlers bench. Out of play. Just under 5 minutes gone in period 3. Hat tricks are back in it. It's 3-1. On a goal from Alexander Legkov. There's 2:33 into the third. Lockhart ahead to James. Cross corner dump. Sosinski and Morik get there together. Moved ahead towards Crom. Crom couldn't battle through Bizal, who came back to take the puck. Now Bizal and Crom still going at it in front of the Prowler bench. Meanwhile, puck in Danbury's territory, turned over by Crom. Anderson takes the handoff, slipped by Rubtsov. Tukane slid it ahead. Tekumbis with a steal. Tossed in right on Resar, and he'll glove it and hang on for a whistle and a face-off. We'll take a timeout. Hat tricks trying to get on the comeback trail. They have one, and they'll try and get another when we return here on the PHP Network.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Back here at Danbury Ice Arena, it's 3-1 Prowlers, as the Hat Tricks have gotten one back. Danbury up on shots in this period. 3-2 as Johnson slipped it off for Tekumbis. Price into the offensive zone. Curlin drag shot blocked by Mavali. Resar, no idea where it was, and Price banks it in! Resar was looking around, couldn't find the puck, but Bobby Price could. The bank is open for 29. Prowlers restore the 3-goal lead. Watch Price alertly off of Resar and in. Take a great look from the corner from Aiden Vision. Right off of Resar and in. And again, something the Prowlers did very well last night was anytime Danbury got some momentum, taking it right back, and they did it there. As Huber able to swallow up that puck and hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Words being exchanged down in Huber's end between Federley and it looks like Crom. Right now they're calling it Bobby Price unassisted. And Price with his second goal of this weekend and 7th of the year. You see Resar unsure of where the puck was. So we look at it again, our Elite Electric replay. So he didn't seal off the post. Bucell wins the faceoff away from Ruiz. It's wrapped ahead to James. Working in with Morick, gave it to him. Red Morick slips past two. Gets the net on the backhand save, Resar. Ruiz back after it. He'll skate up with Ruptsov. Prowler's back in numbers. Pass out of Ruptsov's reach. Lockhart swings it around this way. Morick tied up. Loose puck behind the Prowler net. Grabbed by Lockhart. Slips through a check. Got it up to Morick. Bucell trying to duck through. Kandurka couldn't do it. And it's stretched ahead. Here's Kandurka. Had his stick lifted as he tried to take the shot. Fennell back in his own end. Starts up. Gets the red line. Gets it deep. Price, the most recent goal scorer, chopped it ahead. And right back down low. Fronduto tried to spit it out in front. Couldn't do it. Robinson turned it over. Price trying to muscle off Robinson. Drop pass save. Resar on DeCumbus. Anderson. Up top it goes. Favaro wrists it through off the back wall. Price swept it all the way through to Johnson. But they blow it dead because the net has come off its moorings. They will not allow the hat tricks to change. Alex Johnson was loading up to fire from left point through all the traffic. But the net did just come off. You see right, can't tell when it came off. Quick shot off the draw, stopped by Resar. Trying to watch the replay. Puck comes all the way down, retrieved by Federley. Oregon ahead to Hakala. Dumped in right at Mavali. Kicks it to Legkov. Austin Federley to an area for Oregon. Lead pass Lockney. 3-on-2 for the Prowlers if they hurry. Lockney dances around Mavali. Save Resar. As Lockney got a chance from about the goal line after making that move. Chipped off the glass and out. Goes all the way down to Huber's end. Lockhart. Parsons spun down by Crum. Parsons still on the puck though. He's able to send it up to Bucell. Has Bazal. Gave it there. Bazal tried to feed a pass across. The back-checking Johnny Ruiz got his stick in the way. James recollects in the neutral zone. Wrapped all the way around. Sosinski took a check from Bazal as he moved it. Rupsov throws on the brakes. Gave it right up to Favaro. James one-hands it to Bazal. Kicked out of that scrum. Favaro gloves the puck down in his own end. Twisting and turning away from Newberg. Here comes DeCumbus. Off to Anderson, throws on the brakes. The trailer's Johnson, steps in, and his shot partially blocked wide. Tukane. Off to Tomasi. Hat-trick's trying to stretch it on. They have Kandurka. Kandurka's shot ends up over the glass into the protective netting out of play as the Prowlers got their sticks in the shooting lane. Well, the face-off all the way down in Huber's end. 10:45 left to go in regulation. A 4-1 lead for the Port Huron Prowlers. Off the draw, tied up, poked to the line, not out. Fennell off the near side boards. Federley tried to move it ahead, taken by Legkov in front! Great save, Huber, as he shuts the door on Belfay. Austin Belfay all alone right in front, and Bailey Huber says absolutely not. He's had himself a great game, has Bailey Huber. as Tukane's shot off of Huber's glove and up out of play. "23 saves right now for Huber. Brett Morick in for this face-off as Vinny DeCumbis comes off. Morick won it back. Organ tosses it across, kicked along, and here's Anderson into the offensive end. His shot hit the board! The quick wrister from Blake Anderson, and now here comes the counter. Legkov had it poked away by Anderson on the back check. Lockhart speeding ahead, gets in, wrister missed wide. Sosinski looking to start a rush, tipped in by Rubtsov. Parsons right up the strong side. Here comes Graham. Off to the left wing to Lockney. Rising shot knocked down and covered by Sebastian Risar. We'll take a break. 9:38 left to go. Prowlers have a 3-goal lead here in Danbury.
Discover everything banking should be with Advia Credit Union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with a low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
Back here in Danbury, 9:38 left to go in regulation. Prowlers with the 3-goal lead. Johnny Ruiz starts ahead for Danbury. Dumps it in all the way around. Fans trying to start a "Let's Go Hat-Tricks" chant as their team staring down the barrel of 6 straight losses. Swept by the Binghamton Black Bears each of the last 2 weekends. And now looking like about 9 minutes away from being swept by the Port Huron Prowlers. And 2 teams that the Hat-Tricks are 0 for against this season. The rest of the FPHL that they've played, Hat-Tricks have done very, very well. But the Prowlers and Black Bears have caused them a lot of trouble. And of course, Prowlers and Black Bears, 2 best teams right now in the Empire Division. Those are the teams the Hat-Tricks are going to have to beat if they want to make some kind of a playoff run. Here's Fronduto's shot off a stick and up out of play. Well, the Prowlers are on the ice, so grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish Whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Please drink responsibly. Another defensive zone faceoff coming for Port Huron. Prowlers have won 3 straight games, or 4 straight games, I should say, in this building coming into today. 3 this season, and Game 3, the series deciding Game 3 against the Hat-Tricks in last year's playoffs. Here's Robinson, back for Fennell. Slipped it on towards Belfay. He curls back. Fennell gets into the offensive end. Goes off the backboards. Organ knocked down behind the net. Keeps on going. Huber's stick is behind the cage. He'll get some help getting it back as Lockney wheels in. Lockney throws on the brakes, waits for help, cycles the puck deep. Hakala gets there ahead of Tukane. Bounced up high, Lockhart D to D. Parsons filters it through, but off of Lakekov's stick and up out of play. The Prowlers switch to the third line, as they've been able to really just roll their lines throughout this weekend, which is certainly good for keeping guys fresh. And that's important for a team that has 4 skaters still in Port Huron right now. We're all dealing with various ailments. Right, Lockhart cycling it back this way. Parsons gets to it. Tried to poke it ahead. Newberg's attempt from the sideboards was blocked by Bazell. Lockhart ahead to Bucell. He tosses it in. Port Huron getting a change. Sisinski looks up to Crom. Hakala blocked that pass. Newberg took a hit from Favaro. Legro back to Tomasi. Under 7 to go as Tomasi wheels it in. Pass didn't connect cleanly for the Prowlers. Delayed offsides here against Danbury, so Tomasi has to exit the zone. Favaro leaves with the puck. Lockney throws on the brakes. Tried to cross ice pass that ends up off a stick and up out of play into the seats. Again, a sparse group of fans taking this one in. A rescheduled game, supposed to be played Friday night at 7:30, got pushed to this afternoon, but there's a souvenir for coming out. Tecumseh and Robinson will take the draw. Robinson won it back. Fennell ahead to Belfay. Leads it to Robinson. Long range try, partially blocked by Oregon wide. Federley chipped it around this way. Price looks ahead. Looking for Anderson, missed him, and Mavali couldn't get a touch on it either. Mavali slips away from Blake Anderson. Able to poke it along. Kept alive at the line by Lockhart. Got it on net save, Resar. Moved up to Legkov. Rubtsov in on Huber. He'll clamp the glove on top and get a whistle and a face-off. .548 left to go in regulation. Prowlers again trying to close this one out. Tied up off the draw and shot quickly over top of the net. Tossed out of the zone. Sisinski sweeps it to Rubtsov. Now to Crom, left wing side, and he left the puck behind. Here comes Hakala. That's the red line. Couldn't get it in deep though. Sisinski bounced it out to Rubtsov. Chipped in. Kendurka and Graham come together. Federley up the boards only as far as Sisinski at the line. Tukane to the net, blocked by Lockney. Federley and Crom come together. Federley reacted like he may have taken an elbow or an arm up high. Either way, play continues. Rubtsov looking towards the net, blocked by Favaro, and he just gets it out. Tomasi coming fresh off the bench. Couldn't get to that puck, but there is no icing. Tomasi wheeling ahead. Gets in. Chips it deep, goes after it himself. Josh Tomasi back on that puck. Fronduto, double team, got to Newberg, and he missed wide from right in front of the net. Movelli's one-timer grabbed and held by Bailey Huber, and will take a timeout. Although there's still a scrum to deal with. Newberg tied up with James. Linesman in between. Morick involved as well, and now Newberg gave a shot towards James. Everybody separated. They'll head back to their respective benches, and we will head to a break here on the PHP Network.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's 1195 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast. That'll be this Wednesday, December the 31st, also known as New Year's Eve, when the Prowlers visit the Indiana Sentinels. Puck drop scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Yes, that is changed. It was originally scheduled for 9:30, but now 7:30 p.m. Pregame show starts at 7:15 right here on the PHP Network. Prowlers trying to just wind down the final 4.5 of this one and head home with 6 points and get themselves on a 4-game win streak. This, of course, coming immediately after what was a 6-game losing skid that was the longest in franchise history. Alex Johnson to Blake Anderson. Prowlers have numbers in the offensive zone as Anderson's pass just eluded Decumbus. Legro took a hit from Anderson, and Anderson did his job, dislodge the puck from Jackson Legro. Legkov ahead to Belfay. Federle gets his stick in there and takes it off of Belfay's tape. Price trying to slip through. Fennell could not. Crom gave it away. Here's Hakela looking towards Graham. Graham trying to sidestep the check from Fennell, and that didn't work either. Caden Fennell, a couple of good hits in the defensive zone. Lockhart all the way up to Lockney. He steps in. Lockney with a shot whistled wide. Ronduto's pass off a stick and into the Prowlers' end. Lockhart next to touch up, and they'll say it was knocked down with a high stick. We get a whistle and a face-off. Just over 3 to go. Of course, you will want to stick around for the post-game show. We'll chat with our Gunther Graphics player of the game and Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin here on the PHP Network. Post-game show, always a treat here on the PHP Network. Again, we do have locker room reaction on the post-game show, which, as far as I know, is a first in the FPHL. So we're very proud of that. And, of course, I'm not saying that for the people who have been watching all year long and know what we're about. For everyone who's maybe tuning into the PHP Network for the first time this season. Tukane at the line, had it poked out, and then he was upended, and Brett Morick is getting a penalty. Tripping the call, and the Hat Tricks will go to a man advantage with 2:36 left. And Morick just got his stick in Tukane's feet. Third power play for the Hat Tricks. They are 0 for 2. Reesar staying in his goal crease for this man advantage. Leg Cobb holds it at the point. Got to Sosinski. Wrists it through, and Huber able to find it and swallow it up. Our face-off will go off to Huber's right. 27 saves for Bailey Huber. Off this face-off, back to the line it goes. Robinson, Sosinski, Legkov, up to Sosinski. That one off a stick off the back glass. Legkov recollects. Trying to step down the wall. Sosinski, wrister, blocked in front, bounced around and cleared by Johnson. Sent ahead quickly to Robinson. Fronduto, back up to Robinson. Danbury tries to set back up. Robinson slips away from Price. Tried to cycle it deep, had to deal with Federley who blocked it. Pulled off the boards by Tukane, couldn't get it across to Legkov. Side to side behind the net, turned it over, and it's cleared out by DeCumbus. Dump back in, here's Legkov. Trying to drag it around Parsons, and a great play by Brian Parsons to force Legkov out of the zone. 40 seconds left on the Hat-Tricks power play. Crom throws on the brakes, looking in Belfay's direction. Organ smacks it all the way to Fennell in the neutral zone. Crom dumps it right back in. Organ again. Chips it around this way. Under a minute to go as the Prowlers looking to finish off this weekend sweep. Fennell away from Bucell. Fennell has to be careful. Handed it off for Belfay. Ruiz down deep. Blocked by Johnson. Rupsov tried to get it back down low again. Couldn't. And Bobby Price clears just as the power play expires. Fennell steps up. Under 30 seconds to go until this one's in the books. Legkov wheeling in, but offside at the line. Once again, Bailey Huber, 27 saves right now. That is a career high for the rookie. He looks like he'll be heading home with his third win of the season. And certainly Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Pullen will want to talk about him. We'll definitely ask him about Huber when we chat with him during the post-game show here on the PHP Network. So be sure to stick around to the end of the post-game show so you get to hear from our Gunther Graphics player of the game and Coach Paulin. Here's James, a shot off a stick up out of play. Also coming up on the post-game show, highlights and analysis from Brady Beaton back in our McMorran Place studios. The final game stats as well. So this is certainly the place to be as we'll wrap this one up and again get that reaction from the locker room. Off the faceoff, Anderson tried to pull it to the net, couldn't do it. One last rush for Fennell, dumps it in on Huber, stick to the corner, and that's it. The Prowlers sweep the Danbury Hat-Tricks. They've won 4 in a row. Port Huron now red hot. And Bailey Huber with 27 saves. One of the best players for the Prowlers in this one. Port Huron now 4-0 at Danbury Ice Arena this season. And the fans that did come out to cheer for the Prowlers will be heading home happy. Hat-Tricks continuing to search for answers. They have lost 6 straight games against the top teams in the Empire Division. And if they want to compete, those are the teams they'll have to beat. Once again, coming up on the post-game show here on the PHP Network, Brady Beaton is getting himself ready for the highlights and analysis. Also take a look at the final game stats and get some locker room reaction from this one. Should be a lot of fun as the Prowlers win it tonight in Danbury by a final of 4-1. And they're on a roll. They pick up points 43, 44, and 45. Now at 15, 11, and 0 this season. Well, we will also hear from our Gunther Graphics player of the game coming up. But coming up next here on the PHP Network, and we will send it back to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton. And that is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Christmas is about gratitude, and we're really thankful for everyone who supported our new coffee launch.
I'm just thankful for this coffee and fire to keep me alive during the holiday rush.
Well, I'm really thankful for this new eggnog latte to keep me warm during
Eggnog. Eggnog. Funny word.
Try any of our new holiday specials at the Milk House. We look forward to warming your soul this holiday season.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Back here on the PHP Network postgame show, Prowlers get a clean 6 points out in Connecticut here on the rescheduled Sunday game, a 4-1 victory. Let's take a look and see how this happened. Again, it was a sleepy, slow first period before the Prowlers really got going in this one. First period, the story of missed opportunities. Some Prowlers fans representing in what was a sparse crowd out in Connecticut, but there were a few that were definitely there to watch. Bailey Huber had a very strong game, as you heard Will say, career high 27 saves, one of the first ones of the game, a big one, kept the scores at zeros. It would stay that way all first period. Prowlers not without their opportunities in this opening stanza. Here you see on a 5-on-3, Prowlers couldn't get the power play going, but mere inches away as the ting off the crossbar rings out throughout the arena. Still scoreless. One-timer again on a 5-on-3. This time it's Anderson. You see him setting up shot in the left wing circle, and he just pushed it a bit wide. Still scoreless. As one other opportunity in this first period. Again, this time maybe needed to take a shot earlier. They were looking for that 10 out of 10 shot when there might have been an 8 out of 10 opportunity there. However, second period would be all Port Huron. Here you see the first goal by Vinny DeCumbus. He was sitting right outside the crease, and a lot of that goal mouth to fire that vulcanized rubber puck in to make it 1-0 Port Huron, and the momentum would continue. Not much later, Nick Favaro. Not the prettiest goal, but there were a lot of maybe ugly goals this weekend. Favaro from just inside the blue line flicked it on net, and you'll see Anderson out in front. Not a lot of Anderson to screen, but enough to get the puck in the back of the net. 2-0 Port Huron. They'd add one more in this period. It was Matt Graham again. Always seems to find himself in the right spot at the right time, and that's why he's had such a long career in this league. Matt Graham adds another one to his total. Made it 3-0 Port Huron, and that felt like that was the big one. And a little extra shove there to let them know it's 3-0 Prowlers on top. Danbury would get on the board. A scramble out in front. The puck actually pops up in the air and ends up behind Bailey Huber, the lone blemish on what was otherwise a very strong performance from Huber. As you see the puck fall down right there, and Huber was really never sure where it was. He tried to sprawl out, and Danbury maybe thinking here in the third period they'd have a little momentum, but it was not to be. Bobby Price on a bank shot gets it back in 4-1. That would be your final score as the Prowlers go to Connecticut for the second time this season, their last trip out to Danbury, and they get all 12 possible points. Remember, the first 6 came all the way back in the opening weekend of the season, but Port Huron, a strong performance out there, and they have righted the ship after going on a losing streak, remember, in Topeka and then out in Binghamton, and then Indiana gave them troubles back here at McMorran. Seems like that is a distant memory. Prowlers, winners of 4 in a row, and I'm going to say it again. I said it yesterday. It's the penalty kill, not having to be out there for 10, 15, sometimes 20-plus minutes a night, giving the Prowlers opportunities. Between the two games, just 7 penalties taken and even less power plays because there's a couple coinciding penalties. So the penalty kill didn't have to be out there a lot, and it's no coincidence that the less penalties they've taken, the better they've gotten. They're still playing with an edge, don't get me wrong. You see them, they're still playing with that sandpaper mentality, but the Prowlers doing it in a little bit of a smarter way, and it's leading to a lot of points as they get 6 on the weekend. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the final game stats, see what's going on. Not quite the out-of-town scoreboard here on a Sunday, but the local scoreboard. We'll do all that and more when we return right here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry?
Howie's! SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
Back here on the PHP Network postgame show, your Prowlers win 4-1 here on a Sunday matinee out in Danbury. Let's take a look at the final scoreboard to see just exactly how the Prowlers got there. Again, out shooting Danbury in this one, low on the penalties. All big factors in why Port Huron was able to pick up this win here on Sunday. As here you see the game totals, out shooting Danbury 37-28. That low PIM. Again, in Prowlers, there's going to be a time and a place coming up in some games where, you're going to have to, protect your guys. And that's one thing that if you talk to anyone in that locker room, they're going to make sure nobody gets a free run at anyone wearing the red and black. But they have been smarter, and those penalties, again, ones you can live with. All right, let's now take a look at the local scoreboard from around the area. I guess it's not quite the out-of-town scoreboard. The local hockey scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Saginaw, the only game going on right now, up in the Sioux. They lead 4-0. A couple other OHL games. Windsor and Flint will drop the puck here in a little bit. And the late night one, Sarnia hosting London. In the NHL, Detroit hosting Toronto, and he will, then Toronto will come to Detroit. Always a fun rivalry. And of course, the one FPHL game. You just saw your Prowlers take a 4-1 win in this one. And the Prowlers celebrating a win as well. Will still out in Connecticut as he was able to talk to our Gunther Graphics player of the game. He was able to talk to associate head coach Chris Paulin. Will, I know it's been a fun one out there. Maybe a little longer of a stay out in your neck of the woods than you thought, but you get to come back to Port Huron with 6 points. Let's send it back out to Connecticut and Will here on the PHP postgame show.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Well, welcome back one final time here at Danbury Ice Arena. The Prowlers defeat the Hat-Tricks by a final score of 4-1, as we got to talk to our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Vincent DeCumbis, along with Prowler associate head coach. But first, let's hear from Vinny. Here with tonight's Gunther Graphics player of the game, Vincent DeCumbis. Gunther Graphics player of the game, Shane. Your line was buzzing all game. You guys have been buzzing the last few weeks. What's it like playing with Molly Price and Blake Anderson?
Oh, it's fun. We have a lot of speed going on, and we're finally clicking, so looking forward to a lot more games with them on the line.
Take us through your goal. I'm sure a lot of relief for you to see one hit the back of the net.
Yeah, it was good to see the back of the net. Great shot from Pars, and I just happened to be in a good spot, and I just had to tap it in, so good goal.
You guys able to get another sweep here, kind of building some more momentum. How are you able to beat this team? What was it specifically working for you guys?
I think we just controlled the game from the get-go. We didn't give any time to get any momentum or set up anything. We were on them all night long, and we just played our game.
Quick turnaround on Wednesday. How do you stay ready to go with a short week?
Yeah, just take care of our bodies. We know it's going to be a short turnaround, away games, and then we're coming back home for a weekend game, so looking forward to that.
As your Gunther Graphics player of the game, Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you.
And that was Vinny DeCumbis, a goal and 2 assists for him today as our Gunther Graphics player of the game. And that was certainly a tough race to call. Who's going to be the player of the game? Would it be Vinny? Would it be Bailey Huber? But Vinny coming into this game on a 10-game point drought, but his line had been playing very well. He just hadn't been getting rewarded for it offensively. Finally did get that today, and again, a 3-point game for him. We also chatted with Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin after the game. I'm here with Prowlers Associate Head Coach for the Schultz Roofing Coaches interview following the 4-1 win over the Danbury Hatchricks. Coach, how'd you guys control the games this weekend? Vinny talked about how you guys were able to control the games against this team. How'd you do it?
Yeah, well, tonight I thought there was, we put a lot of emphasis on finishing hits, being physical. I thought we did that, especially as the game wore on. I thought the second period was huge. And thought we started wearing them down a little bit. When you talk about controlling the game, a lot of that starts with the back end, right? I thought our D were sprinting back for retrievals. They did a really good job this weekend, and even more so the goaltending. I mean, I thought Hubes was absolutely fantastic tonight. Controlled the game. I thought there was a big, big difference in the game, the way the goalies controlled it. And I thought ours did an excellent job. You saw how dialed in he was with his stick. Stick control was excellent. He got a lot of whistles for us. That was the epitome of controlling the game from the back end, and a huge shout out to him.
Were you planning on having him starting this weekend, or was this kind of something that came up with the schedule change?
No, this was totally the plan. So the plan coming into it was Hubes Friday, Coop Saturday. With the game being pushed, the Friday game being pushed to today, we wanted to leave it exactly the same, where Coop goes on Saturday and then Hubes takes this game. I think Hubes has been really sharp. He's been getting better and better throughout the season. He works hard. He's been focused. He was absolutely excellent tonight.
Talk about that line, Vinny DeCumbis, Bobby Price, and Blake Anderson. They seem to be all over pucks in the offensive zone, creating more opportunities.
Yeah, those guys are all great players, and they have a ton of speed, all three of them. So it's about utilizing that speed appropriately. I think they're getting better and better at it. It's changing speeds, especially through the middle of the ice, creating speed deficits. And you can see the way those guys hunt the puck. I think Vinny did a good job today. I thought that's something we talked to him about finishing hits, being a problem for the opposition. I think he did a really good job tonight. And then, Bobby and Ando, obviously dynamic players as well. They can create, and it's just about them utilizing their speed appropriately. And then I think those guys are going to continue to get better and better.
4 wins in a row, but how do you refocus with a short week going to Indiana?
Yeah, we're absolutely... we don't care at all about streaks, good or bad. Every game is its own. You have to earn everything you get every night. These streaks, you guys like to talk about them. We don't spend any time talking about that, good or bad. So the focus right now, we're going to enjoy tonight. I think it'll be a fun bus trip for the boys. They'll hang out, have some fun. And then Wednesday, we got a huge game, huge divisional opponent, a team that we're really looking forward to playing. So short turnaround, we'll have the prep ready, and guys will be ready to go on Tuesday.
All right, we'll see you then, Coach.
You got it.
That is your Schultz Roofing Coaches interview. That was Prowler Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin on our Schultz Roofing Coaches interview, as the Prowlers defeat the Hatchricks today by a final score of 4-1, the only game in the Fed today. That's going to do it for us here on the PHP Network. Shout out to Christian Jackson, our technical director, running the show back in Port Huron. Sean Detve helping us out with the graphics. Aiden Bricker, our second cameraman here in Danbury, as always. And thank you to Danbury Hat Tricks for the use of their main camera as well. For Brady Beaton back in our McMorran Place studios, I'm Will Wiggleman saying good night and have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you on Wednesday, New Year's Eve in Indiana, right here on the PHP Network.